So there's no coaching inspiration for your character specifically? Anything, something? I mean,
coaching wise, no. I mean, acting coaches, like, one of my, a couple of my professors down at Illinois State. And, actually, I just realized this yesterday. His clearest analog is actually a guy I worked with at this student auditorium. So in the student center, called the Bone Student Center at Illinois State, which they may have renamed it. I hope not. We all loved working at the Boner. But had Braden Auditorium and then Redbird Arena, which became the new basketball arena for ISU. But there was a guy named Matt Hartley, and Matt Hartley was just to this day, in all my travels around the world, and through all the halls of comedy, the most deadpan person I've ever met in my entire life. And he was the assistant to, kind of a rotating cast of bosses. And he just stood in the back and he waited and said his piece. It was a tiny bomb every time, good bomb. And then off he went. The only real example of which I can remember it being like, like the first meeting, of the school year where you all get your radios, and John, the boss at that time for that particular meeting, like hands you your radio. He gives a whole speech about what it means to have a radio, and then and we're all Midwestern folk. Matt Hartley just sits in the back and just waits for a gap and says, "It's your nomenclature."
It sounds like a line from your show. I'll be honest with you. It does sound like something from Ted Lasso.
I had to look it up. Like, I thought I was fairly well reasoned, but no, my man from the prairie was out vocabularying me hard.
I love it. Fantastic. So, Brendan Hunt, a couple more minutes left here on the Rich Eisen Show with the Emmy Award nominated actor and writer and co-creator of Ted Lasso here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's your favorite line? Which one is your favorite, where you're like, okay, you wrote it and then it was executed and now you've seen it and you're like, that's a good line. Like, which one's your favorite? You got to go.
I have a lot of favorites, only some of which I was involved in the writing of.
Okay.
But one of which, the one that comes to mind is episode 9. Rebecca has something to say to Ted and she invites him to her office, but she doesn't quite have the courage to say what she wants to say yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he senses that. He's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Me, I'm brilliant. I'm top of the pops." This goes nuts with it. It's largely her performance. I'll give you. But her saying "top of the pops."
That's it, huh?
Tickles me.
Interesting.
Still.
I like that one. It surprised so many fans of the show that the actress who plays Rebecca is the same one who was the nun from Game of Thrones, who was saying shame to Queen Cersei. Like, people can't. That was really one of the. Had nothing to do with your show, but it was one of the biggest reveals of season 1 is that it was the same actress. When
I learned that, it made me rethink that character on Game of Thrones, and then her relationship to Lena Headey, whatever her name's, Cersei. Oh, okay, so it's not like the nun is not some wall of a woman under there. Like, no, she too is an Amazon. Was she a sinning smoke show who had to be converted? Now she's doing what had been done to her. Oh,
exactly.
What a great show.
I know. If only Queen Cersei had made the nun biscuits and given it to her every day, could have been a whole different relationship. You know what I mean?
It's a different time.
The whole walk of shame. So, congratulations on everything to you, man. Really. I love the show. It has not lost a single step in season 2. And, it's funny how many people were bringing up Ted Lasso when the Super League was created for a split second and then it was gone in 2 days. And like, how will Ted Lasso survive? And what would Ted think about all this? And he'd be the one out there kind of leading the fans to just do the right thing. I was honestly thinking of your show in the real life soccer stuff, Brendan, for real.
We were in the middle of shooting it when that came out as well.
Is that right? Were you thinking about what would happen? What would you have had to redo something? Were you thinking about that for a split second?
Wouldn't have yet, because we were in the championship at that time.
Okay.
But it was going to have a ripple effect on all the football for sure. But the striking thing was, like, we have a crew fantastic crew that is, there's a lot of football fans in there,
Sure.
Man U and Spurs and Arsenal, and they're all over the map. And the hatred for the European Super League brought them together in such powerful unanimity.
Isn't that amazing? How that happened?
Oh man, they hated it so much and it died so fast. Like, let's get our 30 for 30 going on this. Let's get our oral histories out. We're gonna need this.
It wasn't even a 3 for 3, right? You couldn't even have done it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.